Dear ladies and gentlemen, as you can see from the title of this episode, it's like a glass of cold water, right? But honestly, let me tell you the truth. A glass of cold water is still mild. The damage level of this one is more like salt water with ice poured into it. Because this contains all of my heart, all the things I want to use to awaken people, especially my listeners. Because if we don't wake up from this dream, we will never succeed. I'm saying this seriously, very honestly. Not clickbaiting, not asking for likes, not exaggerating at all. And let me tell you, this never succeeding I'm talking about doesn't only apply to your career. It includes everything in life, health, or even things you think are small like hobbies. You playing a sport, learning chess, or playing a musical instrument. From big things to small things, there seems to be a very common dream that I will reveal in this episode. And if we don't wake up from it, if we don't break out of that dream, oh my goodness, we will never succeed. So this is one of the most heartfelt episodes I've made, and I don't wish for anything else except that it brings immediate value, at least in awakening my beloved audience. Now I'll begin with a question. I believe this question will make it easier for you to enter this topic, and you'll absorb it better, recognize the issue more clearly. Let me ask you this. According to you, how does one become a successful writer? I know many people here aren't writers, right? My goodness, so many jobs exist and I suddenly bring up writing, so let's just treat it as an example, a thinking exercise. Just think about it and answer it for fun. Answer the question I ask. In a moment anyway, you will reflect on your own life, your career, what you're pursuing, your passion, your dreams. Don't worry, there's no escaping it, because humans are self-centered. So even if I talk about the sky or Mars or Venus, no matter what, you will still reflect back on your own life. So relax. So please think with me through this thought exercise. How to become a successful writer? So, do you have an answer yet? And why does this question relate so closely to the idea that if we don't wake up from this dream, we will never succeed? I don't know what your answer is. How does one become a successful writer? Instead of answering myself, let me use legendary writers to answer for you. Of course, reminder, we're just using writing as a demo as an example, but it directly relates to your career and work too. The first answer comes from a very famous writer, Mary Heaton Vaugh. She said something about writing that is simple but sharp. The art of writing is the art of putting your butt on the chair. Shocking, right? I ask how to become a successful writer, and I answer with a quote that blunt. She said, "The art of writing is putting your butt on the chair." Meaning what? Sit down and write. Write. Do it. Just do it first. Everything else comes after. But wait, that's only one person. Let me bring in a few more so you get a clearer picture. Don't jump to conclusions yet. You'll see the whole landscape soon. Because many people think they already know everything I'm going to say, but who knows, maybe yes, maybe no. Now the second answer comes from another famous writer, Ray Bradbury. In a talk in 2001, Ray Bradbury said, "Write a lot of short stories. If you write one short story a week, I'd prefer you write 52 bad ones." That's his advice. My goodness, that hits deep. Write many short stories. If you write one each week, he'd rather you write all 52 badly. There are 52 weeks in a year, right? One story per week. Write a lot. Write endlessly. Build skill. He prefers you write 52 bad works. Meaning, if you do it, you will grow, you will improve, and you will become good. He would rather you stay bad while trying than do nothing. But we're still not done. There is a final boss. And who is that boss? Stephen King, through his truly classic work on writing. You know Stephen King, one of the most famous horror authors in the world, practically legendary, and he is very wealthy. Let me say that clearly, this is a best-selling author who became rich through writing. You can search his name. He is not only a legend in the craft, but also a legend in business. The content he creates is like the great-grandfather of all content. This is no joke. In On Writing, Stephen King wrote roughly, If you want to be a writer, above all, you must do two things. First, read a lot. Second, write a lot. Wait, such a legend. But this is his advice? People expect cosmic secrets, some mystical wisdom, yet he says something almost identical to the other two. Turns out he still means to become a good writer. Read a lot, write a lot. In short, do it, do it, do it. Do a lot, do a lot, do a lot. So simple. But unfortunately, I must say, the truth of success is that simple. And now we are heading into the point where many people will wake up from their dream. The truth of success is doing, working, hard effort, pushing through difficulties to maintain consistency. And in many moments, there will be no inspiration. Even Haruki Murakami once said something I really love. He said writing novels to him is basically a form of manual labor. Haruki Murakami. Maybe you don't know him, but if I mention Norwegian Wood, you might recall. He too is a giant in content. Meaning what? Not only skilled in his craft, but someone who earns a lot of money from the content he produces. Admirable in both art and business, he said that to him, writing is like manual labor. So you must understand, success requires sitting down every day. Sit. Do. Consistently, repetitively, even on days you don't feel like it, even when inspiration is absent. Maintaining a routine, that is the real formula for success. Not this, not that, not the other. This, that, like the other. I say it vaguely on purpose because that vague thing is the very dream you must go through. Now we are going to enter that dream, the dream of many young people and even those who are no longer young. And I have to say this, and let me find something to bang on. Do you hear me? Please wake up. Wake up. If you don't wake up from this, you will never succeed. What is that dream? Many people conclude that they don't like something simply because they are afraid of difficulty, simply because they lack inspiration, and they decide to stop. They come up with every reason under the sun. Collectively, my goodness, you must wake up quickly, because if you are still stuck in this state, there is no chance for you to succeed. It's not a coincidence that I used 4 examples from 4 legendary writers and journalists. To make clear the nature of their work, to show you what they advised us, what they believe is the core of everything, and that is, we must do the work. And on many days, we will do it without inspiration. We will face many difficulties, we won't enjoy it, but we must do it. Because the art of writing is the art of putting your butt on the chair, then your job, whatever career you pursue, to succeed. The art of success is the same. Do it. Do it until you reach a level of mastery. Only then can you look back and conclude whether you actually like it or not. To me, anyone who stops halfway and says they don't like something, or they're not suited for it, that conclusion is unreliable. Because you didn't finish the road. You haven't reached the end, also, how can you conclude? Because a writer who writes a few pieces writes only when inspired and then says, I don't feel excited about it anymore. I don't like it anymore. I'm sorry, I'll say this boldly. The problem isn't that you don't like it or that it doesn't suit you. The problem is that you're afraid of difficulty. Fear of difficulty is one of the core reasons. You must distinguish between dislike, mismatch, and fear of difficulty. The thing that stops you, what is it? Is it because you're afraid of the struggle? You must be honest, ask yourself, and dare to answer. You're afraid of difficulty, right? If it is, please wake up. Because everything in this life is difficult. If it wasn't difficult, then it would be entertainment, not learning. We humans are too smart. When we fear difficulty, we invent every excuse in existence. Excuses that all sound perfectly reasonable. Let me give you a funny example, just for a laugh. In a history class, the teacher asked Tom, why are you so bad at history? Your scores are so low. The material isn't even long or complicated. Guess what Tom answered? He said, well, sir, it's because I don't connect with history. I belong to the future, so those ghostly old things from the past don't inspire me. My goodness, it sounds ridiculous, but in real life, this happens constantly, especially with freshmen, sophomores, juniors. They enter their major, hit difficulty, and suddenly say they aren't suited for it. In those cases, I always probe deeper. Do you truly not like it? Or did you just hit challenges and fell into a state of fear of difficulty? Be careful. You might be quitting simply because it's hard. And if you live with a mindset that avoids difficulty, your life becomes dangerously fragile. Because anything you touch, you'll fail at. The essence is difficulty, not the subject. If you're good, write 52 pieces. Then after you finish, boldly conclude as you wish. But right now, you hit one hard piece and quit immediately. That means you quit. You surrendered. Not that it doesn't suit you. Now let me give you another funny one. A programming student said to a friend, "Hey, why don't you do homework? You study programming, but I never see you code. You just sit around." The friend replied, "Well, the problem is, I tried coding for about 15-20 minutes, but it kept throwing errors." The first one asked, "Yeah, so what? That's normal." The guy said, "No, I've concluded already. I was born to inspire, not to debug. I found out because I coded and errors appeared. So clearly I don't like errors. I don't like writing programs that produce errors. I was born to inspire others, talk about greatness, conquer high dreams of the future. I refuse to believe my destiny is to sit here fixing bugs." Funny, but painful, isn't it? Because behind that joke is reality. Many people are exactly like this. Some say they can't keep up with classmates in a subject. They code and it errors, it breaks, it confuses them. They struggle one day, 2 days, 3 days, and still can't fix it. So they conclude the subject doesn't suit them. Let me tell you sincerely, just conclude that the subject is hard for you. Don't rush to conclude you don't like it or aren't suited for it, because that conclusion is unreliable. Ask successful people in any field. They will tell you about hard days. Days they wanted to quit, days they were exhausted, days they were bored. But they kept going, and now they succeed. Look at them. If they had quit every time it got hard, they'd be ruined. Recognize that pattern? Please wake up. Wake up, wake up. And let me continue with one more case. Many people tell me they love reading books, yet they read 2 pages and fall asleep. Same story again. Some even conclude that their brain is allergic to text. Now, if someone truly knows nothing, fine. But there are people who know just a little. And in the age of the internet, short-form videos, fast food content, the number of people who know just a little is huge. They know a bit, but not the depth. They can't explain, but they've heard something somewhere. Some people learn best by listening, some by reading, some by watching, some by experience. Sounds reasonable, right? So they confidently decide, well, I must be better at watching videos than reading, right? But the truth behind that often is, they just like watching entertaining videos, even educational-looking ones, as long as they don't require thinking, as long as it's easy. And let me say this clearly, if it's easy and it's quick and nothing stays in your mind, it's basically entertainment. But okay, let's test that theory. You say you learn better by watching? Fine. I give you a lecture video. You have to watch, pause, rewind, take notes. Will you last through one full lecture? Probably not. And then you'll conclude, okay, maybe I'm not suited for video learning either. All right, no problem. Let's move to the next format, audiobooks. Let me give you a difficult one. A textbook, a real academic book. Ask yourself honestly, is listening to a textbook easier than reading one? Between listening to a textbook and reading it, which one is less effort? I'll tell you straight. Reading is easier because when you read, you can slow down. You can stop, think, look at a chart, reread a line. But when you listen, the moment you lose focus, even for 5 seconds, it's gone. You have to rewind. Maybe you rewind to the wrong spot. You lose patience. You quit. Most people can only listen to easy audiobooks. Simple self-help ones, the kind that require almost no thought. But true skill-building, mind-building books? Audiobook isn't necessarily the great fit people assume. I've just given you multiple scenarios. So now, you don't like reading, video doesn't work, audiobook you also give up. Then what will work? Maybe the issue isn't the method of learning. Maybe the issue is you're afraid of difficulty. That's it. If you can admit, I'm avoiding hard things, congratulations, you're awake. Just admitting it is enough to break the spell. But if you keep chasing format after format, looking for the one that requires no effort, no struggle, then sorry, you're still dreaming. Because no matter what you switch to, if it gets hard, you'll quit. And life is full of people like that, who experienced many things but succeeded at nothing. They go here, hard, quit. They go there, hard, quit. Try another, still hard, quit. How can success come from that? Please, wake up. Get used to difficulty. Embrace it. Hold it close like it's part of you, at it because it is. We exist to solve difficulty, not run from it. Especially you students. You take a class, it feels heavy, confusing, tiring, and suddenly you want to switch majors, as if switching majors magically means you already understand the new one. You switch, you struggle again, and you quit again. Some quit everything. That wastes time. And youth, let's say age 20 to 30, that is gold. If you waste a year just to flee from discomfort, it is heartbreaking. Exploring your youth is precious, but wasting youth just to avoid difficulty, that is tragic. This whole message is just one big wake-up call. Wake up. Please wake up. Let me end with a silly story I made up, based on real patterns I keep seeing. Back when I studied logic, a pretty headache-inducing subject, I imagined two students talking. One says, "I dropped logic, I'm not taking the exam." The other asks, "Why?" And the first replies, "Because logic doesn't fit my emotional personality. I'm too emotional, so logic and I don't match." You see how absurd that is? Yet outside, this exact kind of thinking exists everywhere. We enter something new. It's unfamiliar, it's difficult. And we conclude it's not for us. We're emotional, so logic doesn't fit. My personality doesn't match this subject. No, it's just hard. We're avoiding struggle. So please, wake up from the long dream. Good things are waiting. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And with that, we end today's session. Thank you for listening. See you next week.